Beautiful, brother. We're at the end of our retreat, and it has been spectacular initiation of the initiate, the pathway, the guidance towards your ascension. I want to know how you feel about everything.
There's just so many pieces on this of things awakening, things remembering, knowing that this is meant to be in so many ways, these intuitions and nudges. For me, being very attracted to your metaphysical mind and information, and it's very interesting. It's kind of like finding a soulmate with these invisible strings on the cosmos. The higher self will make ways to make things happen. It is really caused so much opening and growth on many different paths that I realized, and I think this would be very beneficial for a lot of other people in this time. We're in somewhat of segregated communities, meaning maybe not as intense as Mount Shasta, very spiritual, but in a normal town, normal this and that, we've been really perceiving growing solo. Maybe they had a partner like you and Clara, but I think a lot of people, speaking about myself in particular, brother, has been on a lone path, and community is so important. And this community was given so much by you and Clara and the energy. It's so hard to describe in words from an earthing, balancing standpoint, a knowledge, mental standpoint, and also a loving standpoint. The vortices, the energies, the mountains, it's just opening up so many things, but it's like kind of that, like the crown chakra, 1,000-petal lotus. It's not one or two petals I got out of this. It's so many and so many subtles that are all connecting into one. Balanced energy, focus, concentration, love, knowledge, and really service to others being ingrained in me. This is kind of the vertical ascension that I'm growing into myself, which I see eventually will be very shortly, could be within a few months, very horizontal, and all the information that was given, learned subconsciously, consciously, to the soul, to the mind, is really going to be having ripple effects on many more individuals, many more energies from the plants, from the trees, everything. I don't even know what to expect, but I would say the one word to describe this trip is adventure.
Thank you. Thank you. And when we received you, Brother Raymond, we found that you were in an excited state as the divine masculine, entering this field of higher consciousness, attaining and channeling and tapping in to the true energy of creation. What's beautiful about that is receiving you here, it's all about guiding future initiates, present initiates, towards their own mastery. And it's beautiful to watch how you've unfolded over this past few days. It's been quite an unraveling, but also a grounding, I'm sure you've sensed. And when we come here in Mount Shasta, specifically the vortex, it's something that aligns us with our truest potential. And so we come all the way back to center, and I think you have made strides in the most positive, luminous direction. And we want to thank you for coming all the way out here, giving us your energy, your time, and to see many more in the coming future.
I think that's a great way to put it, Spencer. And the biggest things that this helped me is it helped me realize what I needed. And for example, the grounding, being balanced, being equilibrium, the things that I chase is that divine masculine. And sometimes you need an external way to get you to see what you need to work on, which is right in front of you. Inner harmony, inner balance, focus, concentration, earthing, oneness, to be in the present was a very big one for me. And that is going to open up so many of the things that I'm actually searching for.
Beautiful.
And I am so grateful and have so much love in my heart to know that everything of what I want, everything has a purpose for it deep down in the soul, and everything is so connected. And it's so exciting once we see 2030 or even 2027, when we look back at this moment, this adventure that we have, it was really a start of a beginning of the new age of Aquarius that's going to ripple down in so many ways that we can't see yet. So we just got to hop along for the ride. I would say this is adventure, oneness, love, but this is like a movie that you just can't wait to see the climax.
Beautiful. Is there anything you would like to say to future initiates that might be curious in the same ways you were previous to the retreat?
I would say I can attest for people who are very serious, who really are trying to get much more conscious, much more awakened, interest in metaphysics, interest in law one, interest in extraterrestrials, interested in energy dynamics, on a comprehensive emotional framework, spiritual framework, but also mental framework, that quantum light is absolutely exceptional. There's a good balance between Clara and Spencer. Clara with its intuitive, strong knowing, very feminine, very healing, very direct. Spencer, divine masculine in many ways, but also sensitive, but also on a detailed things of knowledge on there's one thing to experience something, but to really explain what is happening currently, what is going on in this retreat, and many different ways to open up the mind. I could not recommend anyone more than the Quantum Light group. So much love and purity, and I hope this can save, instead of doing a lot of research and reviews, so this can simply happen, and I can save everyone a whole lot of time to just go with Spencer and Clara if you're looking for growth and wisdom, but also somewhat of an intermediate, more advanced path of growth. I would definitely say people who really, really want a community, people who are really, really serious on ascension, on growth, on knowledge, on building themselves, to go here. But it's also somewhat of a serious retreat, because there will be a lot of growth, whether you like it or not. So I would definitely take this as a life-changing and not just a simple vacation, even though it's a little bit of both.
It is. And
It's so much fun, man.
It is, and that's the whole point, is enjoying the experience, enjoying this lifetime. Now, on that topic, just to close it off, what was your favorite part of this retreat?
I have to pick two, 50-50.
Okay.
But it was quite the uncommon ones, the Bernie Falls, because it was so elemental. I was taken to a whole nother dimension. I knew that there was elves, gnomes, and fairies there, and I never think about them. I've been always very ET, UFO, little ascended masters, a little occult way. But the elementals, Diva family, never called to me. I instantly had a sensation. They are there, they are present. It's very childlike. I opened up a sense of innocence, a sense of naivete in a good way, and a sense of purity, of looking to the lenses, instead of a serious point of view of mature, wise, but actually to the lenses of a child, because it's like a child remembering home once again. That was humongous for me. The second was the Saint Germain door. That was monumental. I didn't fully tell you what happened. I gave you a lot of what I experienced. But right before we went to that door, I actually had a vision of the door. So approximately 10 to 15, I was feeling vortex energy. I could feel it in my neck area, a lot of my spinal cavity, my cheekbones. I could feel the vortex energy. And I saw this image of this dark kind of door about 10 to 15 feet away. And then I'm like, this is very interesting, because I don't know where it took me. I look at you and Clara, y'all are also just somewhat ahead of me, staying there stagnant, and I realized the door. So the door was already calling me, right before, from the Space-Time Collective, I even arrived at it. Once I put my hands on it, my third eye, it was so much visions of the future, of Saint Germain's energy, of who I am. It was just download after download, which I knew I had some help there, because downloads don't happen that consciously or that easily. The meditation there was so profound that there was so much growth, and I connected to the Ascended Master, possibly the one, or one of the top ones who I work with the most, and I felt his energy, I felt his connection, and I knew, well, this is Germain. And I could actually differentiate it from another Ascended Master. It was very specific, and it was more clear than I had before, doing a prayer, doing a mantra, doing a calling. So those two events were life-changing, and they're opening literal doors that we can't even see right now, that
Beautiful.
are eons advanced my current level of consciousness.
Well, that's exactly the kind of experience you'll get on retreat with us, which is a very intimate, private encounter with nature, with the mountain, with the vortex, and with many of the Ascended Masters who are among us. There's so much energy at play, and we're so grateful that you made the migration here to visit us. Again, this is just a synchronization point. We're all soul family, star family, and we're here to remember we were always along. Thank you for being here, Brother
Thank you
Raymond.
so much for having me, and consider me a good friend for life.
Of course. We will see you soon.
Thank you, Spencer.